Hey, welcome on in. It's a winning week, Saints way. So I actually got a smile on my face from real. I don't have to talk about how we lost or whatever. No, how we won. My dog, Tyler Shuck, put 2 in the end zone by himself on the ground, feet working. My guy, my young buck, Devin Neal, scored his first touchdown in the NFL. Shout out to the Saints beating the Buccaneers or Buccaneers. It depends on how you look at it. Either way, I'm super excited, that not only you guys are here off the edge, the podcast with me, your host, Cam Jordan, but I get to introduce one of my guys that I've known for quite a long time, inadvertently, on the opposite side of the league. The NFL, then there's the NBA, they're tall as hell. They make they make great plays in their own rights. But he even had a little stint with football. We'll get into that later. But I'm talking about a Michigan State alum, it was Spartan, if you will. 14th season with the Golden State Warriors, 4-time NBA champion, 4-time NBA All-Star, one of the greatest picks in the NBA draft, second round picks in the NBA draft, one of the greatest defenders that we're going to talk about. And Draymond Green, my guy.
What's up, my brother? How are you?
Man, just from a guy who loves defense, loves watching defense being played. I love the aggressive manner in which you bring to the table. I say all basketball players are soft, but I don't mean all of them. I mean the new ones, and I really mean, like the ones that don't have a defensive mindset, like yourself. We talked about this before.
I appreciate that, brother. And I agree with you. Like, a lot of basketball players are soft. That's just the reality. I think the game has gotten a lot softer than it is. And I think the toughness that a lot of guys used to bring to the NBA isn't really accepted in the NBA anymore. So I agree with you. A lot of guys are soft. You're not wrong.
Yeah, and look, my wife played ball over in California, went to Marlboro High School, McDonald's All-American back in the Gap, back in like 2000. Oh, Lord, when we got out of high school, 2012, maybe 2008. Oh, yeah, way back then. But, she talks about, her favorite point guard was Isaiah Thomas. So she talks about the Detroit Bad Boys all the time. So she's like, yeah, the game's soft. Whoop, whoop, whoop. It's always, everybody old always wants to talk about how the game used to be played. Like, it's a finesse game now.
It's definitely a finesse game. Listen, like I said, I agree that the game is softer. I do also think, like, there are some guys that are more physical than the game allows, but the rules that say Isaiah Thomas or, older guys played under, we're not allowed to play under those same rules, though. So it does piss me off when some of those guys go and be like, yeah, they soft as hell, or like the game's soft as hell, like, because we're not in control of all of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, there's a group of soft guys, but by the way, just so we're clear, there were a group of soft guys that played in the league back then as well. Like, everybody wasn't tough that played in the league in the 90s, so there is a group of guys that are soft, but there's also a group of guys that are physical, that play the game physical as well, and you're not always allowed to play that way. You're not allowed to do the things that they were allowed to do back in the day. So I think there is some truth to every statement. But I think a little bit of it is pushed a little far because they try to make it like one size fits all, and that's not the case.
Absolutely. Look, guys looked at, Ray Lewis, the way he would come down and smack a receiver in the middle. You can't do that anymore.
You cannot.
I used to look at it, gone. No. Safety Joey Browner over at the Minnesota Vikings, they called him the Claw, like he was going by and snagging you from your neck. It's not allowed anymore. You can't do that. And there's rules and just the advantage of time. It happens.
Absolutely. I think, you can even go like more recent, like a Cam Chancellor. Like, Cam Chancellor couldn't play in the NFL today. He'd be suspended every other week. No doubt. Think of a Vontaze Burfict, who was suspended a lot even during his time, but
he's been heralded in the 90s.
Like, absolutely. But you look at when he played, and even now, like, take it a step further to if Vontaze played now, and he played, 5 years ago?
Yeah,
absolutely.
He'd been kicked out 2 times over. They were trying to kick it out while he was playing.
Exactly. So I think, when you look at it, but that's also, like, the sports were more violent then, but they didn't make as much money as they do now, and so you look at taking some of the violence out and what the revenue did, it all makes sense at the end of the day. So we can all complain and be like, oh man, they call it too soft, on both sides of it, NBA and NFL. But at the end of the day, it's clearly has some benefit, and I'm not complaining about that. I know you're not complaining about that. So it is what it is. There's some give and take with everything.
No doubt, no doubt. So did you see you saw the Chargers Eagles game, and the way it concluded. You saw just Chargers squeak one out. I said, okay. Justin Herbert's trying to go celebrate with his teammates, trying to be a team guy. Laura Rutledge, who I think is a great reporter, comes up. Hey, can I get a second with you? Hey, I'm trying to celebrate with teammates. Yeah, I hear you. Come talk to me. And then I thought nothing of it, but I see, social media going on a rampage. Like, what you play, somebody say, how much you make, and you have to do these talk to the reporters. I'm like, in the moment, he's trying to celebrate with his team. I see it from both sides. I don't know if you got a chance to see that.
Yes, I did see it. And I see it from both sides as well. That goes back to and just talking about the money of it, right? Like the business of football, the business of basketball. I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday who plays overseas, and he used to play in the league. And he was just telling me some of the complaints that he has over there. We all share our complaints with our boys, right? And he was telling me some of the complaints that he has. And when he finished, I just said to him, I said, yeah. He was like, but all in all, I'm good, bro. It's great. And when he finished, I said, yeah, the business of basketball. Because, you dealt with the business of basketball in the NBA. You go overseas, you're going to deal with the business of basketball there too. It's not going away, and it was just kind of my subtle reminder for him of yeah, we play this game, but don't forget about the business of basketball, And so, speaking of Laura, she's going to do her job, which, like you said, she's great at it. Take nothing away from her. And her job isn't really going to require her to have any feel, right? So she ain't, she just I got to get this interview because that's my job and that's what I'm required to do. Justin Herbert, hand surgery a week ago, comes out, play through it, lead these guys, getting crushed like he's been getting crushed all year, still leads these guys to victory. And that's who we need to talk to. She's doing her job. I can't be mad at her for doing her job. But in that moment, he want to go celebrate with his teammates. Now, here's what I will say. He's probably a little pissed off in that moment about something, right? Although they won, He's pissed off about something that's taking place in that game. So I really don't feel like talking to you right now. I'm going to go over here and talk. I'm going to go over here and celebrate with my teammates. I really don't feel like. When she grabbed, I'm going to celebrate with my teammates. Where I will give Justin Herbert credit is he stopped, he did the interview.
No doubt.
And I can respect that. To your point, I didn't think it was a very big deal either. And then I saw people well, you know how much money you make and I'm just like, if all Justin Herbert wanted to do was interviews, he don't make that money. So miss me with the of you know how much money you make, you got to do that. No. What he has to do is what he did. He has to go win football games. And if he wins football games, he makes that money for being a quarterback. He don't make that type of money. Tom Brady makes that type of money for talking about the game. Justin Herbert doesn't make that type of money for talking about the game. So miss me with the when people try to act like, oh, man, you just got to do this. No, I don't have to do anything but go play this game. And as long as I play this game at a very high level, even if I don't do the interviews, Marshawn Lynch, they still going to pay me at a very high level. So miss me with that.
I would say what fills the seats is the talent involved. Justin Herbert is a headliner. That there's the throws he made. There's a reason why they won.
Exactly.
And that's the reason why they want to interview him. when you make big plays, you get big questions.
Exactly. They didn't go interview the third string quarterback. So again, don't tell me it's his responsibility and that's why he's paid. Stop with that. That's not why he's paid. It's just not.
No doubt. Look, I just wanted to see if he was taking a spin. I was just like, you're on the podcast side. I'm on this podcast side. I was like, I get both sides of it.
Absolutely.
We can pivot. As pro athletes, as dads. Congratulations, your fifth one coming up. I'm saying in advance. Whenever, as long as the baby's healthy, that's all we really press for as dads.
That's it. Healthy baby, healthy mama with the birth. Everything goes smooth. We get them through it. but it's a little rough right now. My grade's about to pop through this dye and start coming back
Hey,
with the week I'm having.
He's just going to put the dye out there to Beijing.
Oh, absolutely. No, it's not Beijing, but I do dye it for sure. No, I am not ashamed about it at all.
I'm not there yet. I'm not there. I think I got a couple, but I'm like, I keep it low anyways. And when it does sticking out, it's just a few, and I'm cool with that.
Mine is not a few. Check this out. So this past summer, my wife and I, great friends with Taylor Rooks, and we goes to Taylor's wedding. And Taylor does this thing where the portraits, and they're black and white. And so we go take the portrait, and we get the portrait. And I'm with my wife. I'm like holding her like this, like the way she's like sitting on a stool and my arm is like wrapped around the shoulder and I'm leaning in. And man, my wife looked gorgeous. Like she looked like a beautiful young lady. And I looked like her grandfather. I had like the gray stuck out so crazy on the black and white portrait. It was that day that I said, oh, I'm done. That's it. Like I'm done. I hit my barber. Bro, I was so anti like all of the enhancement stuff, bro. I used to go crazy at my barber. I'm like, bro, like don't spray that. I hit my barber as soon as he walked through. He walked in the door. He started cutting my hair. I'm like, Blends, the dye. Like, whereas he like, what you talking about? I'm like, Blends, the dye. Like, it's time, bro. And he's sitting there like, what are you talking about, bro? Like, huh? And I'm like, I need to dye it, please. He like, what? You coming over to the other side? I'm like, yeah, bro, it's time. We DoorDash to dye, and we've been rewinding it ever since.
Rewind time. We just want to look good. We just want to look. Especially on the court. Y'all ain't got no helmets. Y'all ain't hiding nowhere. You camera here.
Come on, man. They out there, everybody saying I'm older than what I am. Like, nah, bro, I'm getting up there, but I'm 35. I can still go at it. So I'm like, nah, I gotta go, bro.
You gotta go. I mean, that is hilarious. I just think with 4 kids, how much locker room access do they get? Do they get the whole, I got 4 kids, right? And my son gets to come with me. My girl's like, Dad, can I go to work? I can't bring you to the locker room, baby. I'm not gonna lie to you. The guys get undressed there. I can't bring you. I'm sorry. I can bring you. I can bring you to the field. I can bring you to the game. You can't go to the locker room. So on Saturdays, I take my kid, my boy DeMar Davis. He brings his kid. I make them run. They do routes. At this point, like last couple of weeks, they're like, man, how hard are we going? No, we're gonna go get it in the morning before it starts up. I get my little jog in with you. But like, how much access do your kids get?
Steve Kerr is incredible about family. And so, like, my kids, my wife, they can fly on our team plane anytime they want. Like, whole trip, one flight. Steve Kerr has been or is and has always been amazing about that. Access, any practice, any game, bring them. Like my son comes in the locker room. My girls, they come down the stairs from the game with us and they go to the court. Like they go out to the court and it's like a full blown daycare. Like they're out there running amok. And so they get access. I'm very grateful for that. My son last week, I hadn't seen my son in a month. With the way our schedule worked, I hadn't seen him in a month. And so we were home and I was going to be able to see him for 24 hours. He sat on the bench with us that day, and he handed out towels and stuff. Again, like Steve Kerr is amazing when it comes to that stuff. And that was so important to me just to spend that time with him, like even when I'm at the game, because I haven't seen him in a month and I'm about to be gone and I got 24 hours and I'm about to be gone. And so I'm very grateful in that aspect that our organization is great about that. Yeah. And they'll allow them to spend as much time as they want to spend or we want to have them. So I appreciate that side of it.
No doubt. Have you introduced them to the cold tubs yet?
My son has been in the cold tub. My girls have not, but he's hopped in there. And these kids crazy, man. He like, oh, yeah. Like that.
Oh, he embraced it.
Yeah, he did. Like, bro, you tripping. You tripping.
Hey, good for him. But I don't believe in the cold tub, but my son was having some growing pains And, they're like, oh, damn, my shins hurt, my knees hurt. I said, hey, bro, I know a way to get you right. He's
And
like,
you put him
come
in
with
the
me.
cold tub.
Put him in the cold tub. My man, Dad, what is this? We're not supposed to be here. You don't go to the cold tub? I don't. I don't.
Bro, after all these years, you're not in the cold tub?
No, sir. I believe in heat. I believe in heat. Restore me at my fullest. I'm from Arizona, went to school in California. I've been in the South for the last 15. I deserve heat. If it's 90 degrees, I'm happy. If it's sub 75, what are we doing?
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm big. I'm big hot tub. I didn't even get to the hot tub till year 10. Look, I right around 29, 30, I started like, all right, I got to really start taking care of my body. I really used to just flex it. I'm here for all the smoke with none of the repercussions. And now I'm in all the rehabs. I'm in all the prehabs.
Hey, I'm in the hot tub every day.
Hot tub, sauna, steam room.
Yeah, all that.
I need all of it. But
Absolutely.
I mean, as we get older, mortality catches up with all of us. I used to be like, I'll get in a hot tub. I used to treat it like people drinking coffee. Now I'm eventually gonna get there. I was like, when I get old enough, I'm gonna get in the hot tub. I'm gonna get me some coffee too. I was like, what do you do after that? Some Zen? I don't like what. I don't know. I might start taking energy drinks. I don't know. Now I'm Mr. Wake Up and go get it.
After that, you get far past that, you go home.
You go home.
For good.
God, look, anything past sunflower seeds, I'm like, dang, he's old. And so like now I'm on the other side in the hot tub, like, dang, I'm in these meetings. You know what? I do need some sunflower seeds. I gotta. It's different. Hey,
oh man!
Hey, anything past like what 30 in the league is anything past 30. I get the question. Hey man, so how many more years you gonna play?
Yeah.
For the NBA, y'all got a longer career, but as you get up there, year 14, 35, he starts up. Hey, how much longer you gonna play? Is there an answer?
You know what's crazy? My boy asked me the other day. We was in Cleveland. He lived in Ohio. And he was like, man, it's been great, bro. Like, so dope, bro. Like, what's next? And the way he said it, I was like, huh. So I slowed him down a little bit. I'm like, oh, yeah, man, bro, I feel great, competing at a high level, you know what I'm saying? He's like, yeah, bro, you done had a great run, man. He started naming off stuff. He like, so what's next? I started defending myself again. I'm going to full defense mode now because I'm like, all right, that's 2 times he just what's next me. So I go to defending myself like, hey, bro, I was 3rd in Defensive Player of the Year voted last year, 1st team all defense at 35. Like, I'm still playing at a high level. I don't know what's next yet. Like, you mean what's next? Like, I'm still doing this and I'm doing it at a high level. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm going to do some TV stuff, but ain't no what's next. I'm still So I got real defensive about it. I had to take a step back like, yo, you all right, bro? Like, and saying all of that. So then I had to go there with him like, nah, bro, I'm going to go at least another 3, 2, 3 years at least. You know what I'm saying? If I'm at top of the DPOY, and I can still do this for at least another 3. Like absolutely. I said, so if I'm there, even if I fall a little bit, my fall is still, I was hot, So that's where I'm at with it, bro. Another 2, 3.
I love that. Yeah. When you get mad about it, you realize, there's passion there. There's passion there. I'm not willing to give it up yet.
I'm not yet. Like I thought, if you asked me this 2 years ago, I would have probably told you 2 years. 2 years later, I'm like, I'm still doing this at an elite level, and I still love to compete. Like I still love going out there battling with these young guys. Like went at it with Wemby 2 games in a row a few weeks ago. Like,
well, he actually played back to back.
Yeah, he did. Well, it was 2 games, so we stayed in San Antonio. We played Wednesday, Friday. Okay. And like just like competing at that level with guys who's like he's closer to my daughter's age than he's closer to my age, and like having those battles with young guys to where you then got old guys who's long gone talking about me battling a 21-year-old and like, oh man, this, that, and other, the era you play, but you're saying this 21-year-old is great.
Right.
I'm 35, and you're saying, but you're arguing that, oh man, you doing this to him. These arguments ain't really making sense to each other, So I'm enjoying this still, bro, and competing at that level. It's nothing to replace it. Like I do the podcast, I do the TV stuff. Like it's all fun, it's all great. But it's nothing like when you step out there on that floor at 7 o'clock and there's 20,000 fans and, everybody against you. You walk in the arena and everybody, you Draymond, like, it's nothing like that.
Come on, who needs coffee when I got this?
Exactly. Like, it's nothing like that.
Hey, you say that until, and one day when you do put it up, are you going to look at the game like, dang, I should come back?
I'm sorry, Cam, but I have zero interest in playing basketball at 44, coming out of retirement at 44. What I do believe is I've given so much to this game, and I'm still giving so much to this game. When I'm done, I won't have nothing left. Like I won't have in 3 years, I'm done. Like I've left it all out there. I've seen guys over the years that, they leave stuff in the tank and then they're either going longer than they should be going, or always trying to come. It's because you didn't get everything out of the tank that you needed to get out the tank. I'm getting everything out the tank that I need to get out the tank. When I'm done, I'm done. Congrats to Phillip Rivers. If his dream is to come back with the Indianapolis Colts, more power to him. But I do not foresee that being the path for me. When I'm done, they can have it. Like, I'm moving on.
You've played your entire career with the Warriors. I played my entire career with the Saints. Like, there's the pride that you have for playing with one team. Like, I've never seen free agency. If I get close to the end of a contract, I'm like, come on, just update me. I don't need to be top dollar. I just want to be respected. And that's I've gone pure off of respect. Dollars after I walked to the game, I said, oh, wow, if I could get $10 million. And once I passed that point, I said, man, I never have to work again. So now I'm playing for what I want. I want the black and gold to win the Super Bowl. And that's what I hunt for every year. And if it comes short, whatever. This might be the first time I've am entering free agency or whatever that looks like at 15. Completely different landscape than it would be at entering free agency at year 8. But just the idea that you could play for another team, does that do something for you?
Not really. No, I over the course of my 14 years, I've entered free agency a couple times. Once I was a restricted free agent after my first 3 years, which I never truly hit free agency like that. We got a deal done on like day 1 of restricted free agency or day 2. And then after this current contract I'm on, I was a free agent technically for a little, but so they changed the rules to where you can negotiate with your team before you can negotiate with another team. And so I was in free agency and we were working on a deal, right? Like I was about to hit free agency and we got a deal done. So I've never really gone through the full ringer of of what free agency is, taking meets from this team, meets from that team, being touted. But I've never gone through that, and I'm appreciative of it. I've never really wanted to go play for another team. I understood that in this business there would always be the chance, I'm not going to be disrespected on my contract and just say, oh man, I just want to play for this team. So you can disrespect me. But to your point, I've never gone for just absolute top dollar either, where, I could have waited 6 months and went for the full total max. I've never done that. I've always just done extensions. I've done extensions that helps me financially, that helps the team financially, that allows us to continue to build. But yeah, just like at this point in my career, especially going to play for another team, it's like, I don't want to do that at this point. As I said, always going to want to be respected for what I bring, and be at some sort of level of pay that say, yeah, I'm respected in that aspect. But it don't have to be the absolute most I can make. Like I'm doing all right.
Yeah, just respect me. Just don't disrespect me. Like just don't go out your way and be like, hey, this it. This it. Not like you're forcing my hand to go somewhere. Or, like in my mind, I've always gone through it like, it's crazy. You think about some of the greats of all time, right? And you see them in another jersey, right? You got Ricky Jackson, who was with the New Orleans Saints for 13 years. And then you got 2 years with the San Francisco 49ers, albeit a championship year. But it's like, dang, it sort of taints the New Orleans Ricky Jackson that I think about. Like, I'm not thinking Ricky Jackson. I think New Orleans. Then all of a sudden you put him in a red and gold jersey. You know, you got Jerry Rice, and all of a sudden you put him, and not in a Niners, like you get the what?
It looks different.
Yeah, the random different. Seattle jersey. You're like, wait a minute, what?
What is that? That's a fact.
It feels disloyal.
It does. It's just like you've been viewed a certain way. You've put on a jersey for so long, like you become kind of synonymous with that jersey. Once you take that jersey off, you know, and it's one thing. Once you put on a different jersey, then it becomes a totally different thing, you know, and it just looks different. Like it's not easy on the eyes, you know. And so I think for me personally, I don't want to ever put on another jersey, but I don't want to be forced into retirement and I can still play either, you know, or like just because, say, my team that I've been with is like, we're kind of at the end of it now. If I still got something left to give and I got something left to give, but I don't want to. I don't have interest in playing for another team. I just don't see it. Like it don't add up to me.
Right. Even if it was a home team, you're a Detroit kid. I'm an Arizona boy. Like,
yeah. I mean, as dope as it would be to play for the Pistons, I got to respect what they got going. You know, they got a good young physical team. They putting it together. I always like to see the Pistons do well. So as dope as it would be to like be like, man, I'm playing at home. Like, Golden State is my home now. You know, like
for them things.
You know, and when it comes to NBA basketball, that's my home. You know, yes, I'm from Michigan. I still got a Saginaw area code 989. That'll never change. You know, like I will always be rooted there. No question. That's home for me. Absolutely. But when it comes to NBA basketball, like, the Golden State Warriors is my home. I'm lucky enough to be one of the few guys in this league that can say, yo, I have a home. Like, and I don't take that for granted.
No doubt. All right, last one, I'll get you out of here. Who's your favorite NFL player to watch?
My favorite NFL player to watch today, I would say Jahmyr Gibbs. He's insane,
electric,
man.
Electric.
You just need to get the ball into his hands. And like once he got the ball in his hands, like anything goes. Right. And so I truly enjoy watching Jahmyr Gibbs. And then that's an offensive guy. From defensive side of the ball, it's impossible to not watch Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett is insane. Like the stuff that he's doing, the Euro steps, you're like, man, the strides that he's taking on these Euro steps is like they don't fit in the camera. Like, I mean, it's insane. So what he's doing, and then I have a huge appreciation for what Trent Williams is still doing as well. Elite level blocking.
Opposite lineman. There's only one I'm going to argue on.
I can appreciate that.
No doubt. Oh, shoot, I appreciate you for tapping in with the podcast, man. You know, I know you literally on baby watch. Hey, you got to do what you got to do, man. I said, appreciate you tapping in with Off the Edge, the podcast. Grab your podcast anywhere you can. Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio app, anywhere else you get your podcast. We're here, Off the Edge, with me, your host, Cam Jordan. I got my dog, Draymond Green, here.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you having me. It's been amazing watching your career. For those that don't know, I met you at Lamar Willie's camp many years ago. Shout out to my OG, Lamar Willie. Cam coming to Saginaw and being around our kids was amazing. I can never thank you enough, brother. I appreciate you, fam.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. My guy.